$10 trillion. This is how much wealth BlackRock manages. To put that into perspective, if BlackRock was a country, it would have been the third largest country in the world. According to MarketWatch, there is currently around $40 trillion in circulation around the world, which means BlackRock manages a quarter of the world's money. Forget Tesla and Amazon, BlackRock and its comparatively reclusive founders are the biggest players on the global financial stage. BlackRock is so powerful that they control the world. From the food we eat, the apps we use, the clothes we wear, and even our politicians, are all owned and controlled by BlackRock. The decisions that they make have ramifications worldwide. The list of companies they fully or partly own is very long, 5,832 companies to be exact, but some of the largest companies are Apple, Microsoft, Intel, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, ExxonMobil, Nike, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Disney, and many more. Many governments and corporations turn to BlackRock in times of need and financial crisis. They own the biggest corporations that you can think of, and the scary part is you probably never heard of them before in the news, and that's not by accident, but more on that later. So who is the man behind this company? What are his motives? How is BlackRock exactly controlling the world? And why does the media intentionally avoid talking about them? These are all questions that we will answer in today's video. If you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing and hit the like button to see similar upcoming content. BlackRock is the biggest company you've probably never heard of. BlackRock was formed by founder and CEO Larry Fink in 1988 in New York City as a risk management and asset management firm. Now, it is the world's largest asset manager with $10 trillion currently in its portfolio. Larry Fink, along with Susan Wagner, Robert Capito, Barbara Novick, Ralph Schlosstein, Hugh Frater, Ben Golub, and Keith Anderson, formed BlackRock in one room. With a $5 million bank loan, they were able to handle assets that were good for clients. BlackRock developed a risk evaluation and risk management system that uses 5,000 supercomputers that work 24/7 and are monitored by a group of engineers, mathematicians, and developers. The BlackRock software could track millions of daily deals and analyze each asset in his clients' stock holdings to understand how they might be influenced by even slight economic developments. Aladdin is the name for this system. The technology was actively scouring the markets for anything that may go bad, and it had formed the basis for a second firm that would extend BlackRock's scope beyond asset management into the realm of client advice. This is how they were able to thrive and profit during every financial crisis while hundreds and thousands of other companies went bankrupt.
But now it's official, we are in a recession. The research group that makes that determination made it today and said the recession actually started a year ago.
Post-World War II, America's foundation of economic policy was based on consumerism. We built this entire economy post-World War II with a belief that if more Americans can have more things, then we have happy Americans, and we built a whole geopolitical platform around that.
When the global financial crisis hit, Aladdin was called upon by every major bank, as well as the head of the Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury. So how does BlackRock exactly control the world? BlackRock owns shares and voting rights in several of Europe's largest firms, including those in energy, oil and gas, and, of course, banking. The firm invests in the government and central banks, issues public bonds, owns real estate, and serves as an auditor and mentor in addition to being a bondholder. They own many companies in tech, banking, oil, and many more. Matter of fact, the main reason why the world is failing in fighting climate change is because of BlackRock. From one side, they are pushing their portfolio companies to pursue a zero carbon footprint plan to showcase their support for a green future, but on the other side, they are the largest investors in fossil fuel companies. They own major oil corporations that are contributing to the climate issues the world is facing today. In another example on how BlackRock manipulates the world is when, in 2020, When most companies struggled due to the pandemic, BlackRock capitalized on the housing market boom. They bought properties and single-family homes at a staggering rate, which drove the prices even higher before eventually selling it all. This pump and dump scheme went unnoticed by the US government. Or maybe they did notice, but what can they say to the company that funds the Federal Reserve and lends their central banking system? BlackRock used their money and ownership to get what they want and bend markets upon their will. BlackRock also created what they call ESG score. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. It is a metric that they developed to rate companies on these aspects. Investors heavily rely on this score when considering backing a certain company. In other words, if your company's vision and objectives doesn't align with BlackRock's, then you risk investment opportunities. BlackRock also owns politicians. Many BlackRock executives like Brian Deese, who leads Biden's National Economic Council, effectively serving as his top advisor on economic matters. Michael Pyle, BlackRock's former global chief investment strategist who had worked in the Obama administration before joining the firm, serves as chief economic advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris. Biden also hired Adewale Adeyemo, a former chief of staff at BlackRock and Larry Fink's longtime friend, to serve as a top official at the Treasury Department. This is how BlackRock manipulates economies and companies into falling under their mercy. So, being such a powerful and wealthy company, you must be wondering, why have we not heard of BlackRock before? Why does the media avoid talking about them? Turns out, it's not by coincidence. Media giants intentionally avoid talking about BlackRock for one simple reason. BlackRock owns them. Vanguard and BlackRock are the top two owners of Time Warner, Comcast, Disney and News Corp, four of the 6 media companies that control more than 90% of the US media landscape. Together, BlackRock and Vanguard own 18% of Fox, 16% of CBS, 13% of Comcast, 12% of CNN, and 12% of Disney, which owns a number of subsidiaries. Media giants that may present themselves as rivals are in reality owned by the same company. As a matter of fact, Vanguard and BlackRock together own many major corporations across all industries. You might think Vanguard is a competitor or just another regular investment management firm. Truth is, Vanguard is the major shareholder of BlackRock and BlackRock is the major shareholder of Vanguard. This is called circular ownership. By setting up a circular ownership structure, companies are able to mask true ownership and control through various and sometimes complex ownership loops. So we don't know for a fact who owns who, but we know that BlackRock is far bigger and more powerful than Vanguard. BlackRock is far more powerful than what appears to the naked eye. They are the only company that survived the 2008 financial crisis. They are considered the fourth branch of government in the US, considering how powerful they are. The US hired BlackRock to save its financial institutions in 2008 and lend the central banking systems money. From managing US pension funds to controlling companies in the biggest industries, BlackRock proved itself as a major player in the financial stage, and all of this was only accomplished in under 35 years. Their software Aladdin is so powerful that it uses 5,000 supercomputers, and major investors pay a lot of money to use this software. It is not clear yet if BlackRock has an evil motive. They showed no interest in political gain. What we have seen from BlackRock is that they will bend companies and force regulations that makes them more money. Here's a question for you, and let me know in the comments section. Do you think BlackRock has a bigger goal than just money, or are they just another financial institution that only cares about financial gains?